Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 30th of May. Looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we've seen a bit of a bounce at the moment. As someone pointed out yesterday, the weekly trend line there, which it could well be taken a bit of an effect, had a little bit of run through, but maybe taken an effect. Personally, I still wonder if we'll see this a move towards the 100, the 200 moving averages that are sitting below on the weeklies there, whether it'll pull through onto that. Things fundamentally haven't really changed, so will the euro pull down? I suppose at some point it gets to a price of equilibrium, if I could say that, where maybe it's seen as a fair price, but for now, well, it is pushing up. It's a bit overbought on the short-term time frames, and I do wonder if it'll roll a little bit more. Now there's no divergences or anything here on the, I can see on the 4 hourlies in terms of these lows. There was a bit of 60-minute divergence on this early this morning across there, so there is a bit of a divergence move that we're seeing. It could still want to be pushing up to its 60-minute 50. We'll see post 8 o'clock where it goes from my point of view, but if it was, my preference is still to trade to the downside. In what we're looking at here, it's had a good retrace this morning, so we'll see, as I say, see how it pitches out post 8 o'clock. But any further push up, I'd be looking to maybe short into that 50. I'm still, as I say, looking at the short side on the euro. The pound also selling off. I will just flick across the weeklies here. I mean, that clearly broke the trend, and again I was looking at sort of a target, say a target, but expecting it to maybe drop off back towards its weekly 100 there. It's again having a little bit of a bounce this morning, clearly on here. I was just noticing through the news services it seems to be some unease on the Brexit talks, and the EU have said to be weighing a much stronger warning of the risk of a Brexit talks collapsing without a deal in the UK if the UK fails to lay out its position more detail next month. I mean, this is an ongoing discussions and whatever else, and they know there's no way that the Eurozone wants it to collapse, so because they won't get their money, so that's been promised. So realistically, that's just talk, but there we go. So looking at the pound anyway, funny enough, it's rallied through that anyway, and is pushing up at the moment. Again, it may pull back towards its 50 here. It's probably a bit overbought on the shorter time frames. There is a safer sort of quite a safe entry here, or a clearer entry than maybe on the euro in some respects. If it starts breaking these lows here, going across this, if I can draw it on there, it'd be good. There we go. So if it breaks that low there, well, maybe we will see some sort of rollover from that point of view. Bigger rollover, looking back towards yesterday's lows, maybe the S1. Okay, dollar yen. As I said yesterday, it's been a bit of a safety move here. It's just come out to the weeklies on that. Well, it's finding a bit of support maybe on the weekly basis on the lower band there. It's also come back to its monthly pivot here, which is having a bit of a bounce off at the moment. There's a 50, the 100 sitting across there, so quite a bit of confluence in terms of support there. It ran into in the end yesterday. May get a bit more of a bounce. There's a possibility it could, of course. One would expect it to be moving to the upside of the pound and the euro coming off, but as I said yesterday, and we'll continue to say, there is a risk about risk come the dollar yen. In other words, if there's seen to be risk everywhere else, this is where the money starts flowing towards. But for now, certainly looking like it's getting a bit of a bounce there, but that may just be reflecting what we're seeing with the euro and the pound both going up a little bit. There's a bit of risk off coming off here. Okay, Aussie dollar. or risk back on there, I should say. Aussie dollar then, daily wise, selling off yesterday, pushed through there. I mean, there was a trend line across the lows on the dailies, which is broken from those lows there, which is broken, making it look a bit bearish at the moment. It has just run up on the 4 hour point of view back into its 4 hourly. It has run through these a few times before. Again, it'd be wise just watching this carefully. There is a daily pivot just a bit further up, which it may want to run into, but again, the bigger picture is quite soft on it, and we could see a continuation to the downside there. Aussie dollar, it's just Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar even. I'm just going to put the weekly picture on. That's really just showing the sort of push up this week it's had into those prior ranges there actually. Not really helping us too much, but it has slowed down a little bit in terms of its move up here, but still continued. Now there is a sort of spinning top type candle which may see it maybe a bit of a reversal bar. Again, with this, it's quite easy to draw the trend lines along the lows there, and maybe use that in terms of any so if you see any signs of weakness. I can see a 4 hourly divergence going on there on the RSI. It may roll down, but the sort of if we break through that past that low there, the 4 hourly 21, maybe we'll see a bit more of a move. There is a weekly pivot as a potential target below that, so there are certainly some targets there. So any strength coming through for the Canadian dollar, we could see that moving, as I say, down towards that area. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Let's also just a quick look at the 60-minute. That's it. No, that's pretty much it for me from that point of view. Important news today. We've got ADP coming out this morning. It's not this morning at all. It's 1:15. Sorry, my time's gone completely crazy on my machine here, so let's just save that and just check that I get the right dates and times of everything coming through here. Yes, at 1:15, and then we've got for Canadian traders, we actually US GDP coming out. Sorry, not Canadian at all at 1:30. But we have got at 3 o'clock the Bank of Canada rate statement, so an overnight rate announcements. So not expected to see any change there according to Forex Factory, but that's at 3 o'clock. But it may create some volatility as there is a release of a rate statement there as well. So maybe this afternoon we could get some volatility kicking in, and that may well affect this Canadian dollar a reasonable amount. It often gives it a bit of a kicker. There we go. That's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.